All right, what's going on, guys? Just got done with my 20-mile run today, and I really honestly just beat the bad weather. Like, it really just started raining like this as I was pulling in from the 20-miler. So I got super lucky, man. It was actually a perfect run day. Weather was around somewhere in between 50 and 60 degrees. No sun. I want to say it was like sprinkling every now and then. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better weather today. Great run. The hardest part about it was making sure that I maintain the right pacing for myself. I wanted to maintain a rate of perceived exertion, an RP, of about 2 to 3 for myself, which for me, that's about an 8:30 to 9 minute mile per hour pace. And I was able to do that. All right, so today, here's my results. I am on Strava, by the way, if you guys want to hit me up on Strava. Hopefully you can see that. 20 miles. Moving time was just shy of 3 hours, so not super impressive, but where it needs to be right now. And my average pace was 8 minutes and 48 seconds per mile. So honestly, guys, I mean, that ended up being like a perfect run for me. And I also went live for a good portion of it. I want to say maybe about, not even a third of it, about a third of it, I went live and was talking to you guys while I was doing it. So that kept me honest. And like I'm always saying, if you're having a hard time trying to figure out how fast you should be going if you're trying to do an easy run, you should be able to carry on a conversation with a buddy as you're running. And if you're able to do that and still be able to breathe and keep the pace, that means you're running easily, okay? So that, for you guys that are out there having a hard time bringing it down a notch and making sure you're actually doing an easy run, that's a good way to gauge that. So I would definitely recommend you try doing that. But anyways, that was my long run for the week. I wanted to take a second and just, for all you guys that are wondering out there, kind of just tell you a little bit about my training plan for the 100-miler that I plan on doing in about 3 months here. Real quick, I'm gonna do a quick plug so you don't forget. I do plan on doing my best to document this train up as best as possible, provide some motivation, some information, and just show you a little bit of the process of what this train up looks like. So if this is something you're trying to do yourself, or if you're really just looking for some information and some knowledge, I'll be able to give that to you, hopefully, through experience, right? So don't forget to subscribe now so that you don't miss any of those future videos, and so you don't miss any other future videos that I push out regarding other topics with fitness, military, this, that, and the other. And if you do find this video motivating or informational or really anything good whatsoever, please don't forget to hit that like button. Also, I'm extremely open to any advice or tips or tricks or anything you have that you think is going to be useful for me on this train up along the way. Please drop that in the comments. I want to see it, and I will implement it if it is appropriate for me to do so. You know, I don't have all the answers. I'm always looking for new and valuable information that I can use to get better, all right? So if you guys have something that you think I might not have thought of or you think that's gonna help, please let me know. Drop it in the comments. All right, so just to give you guys a basic idea of what we're looking at for my running plan from now until the 100-miler, which is 13 weeks away, all right? I'll be running 4 times a week with an average of about 50 miles per week. Some weeks will be a little shorter than that, some weeks will be longer. Now, because I work during the week, I've put my longer runs on the weekend to make sure that I can actually get them done, because that's really where I'm gonna make most of my money on this. This is all about endurance. You know, I really need to get used to stacking on the mileage here. So that's gonna be my main focus for this. That doesn't mean I won't be doing short runs as well. I've gotta keep my aerobic capacity going. I've gotta keep the fluids going. I've got to release that lactic acid that for sure is going to build up like crazy over these next some weeks. And really, like I said before, it's all about building that endurance, and I have to do it in a safe and methodical way. So during the work week, Monday to Friday, I will have 2 runs, okay? And they will be no longer than 10 miles at a time. For most of those days, it'll be a 7 and then a 6, or an 8 and an 8, Tuesday and Wednesday, something like that. And one run will be focused on maybe some training or some fartlek training, something like that, a little more speed work involved, just out there, you know, getting after it. Another one will be pace focused. So for me, I like to maintain for myself somewhere between a 7:30 to 8 minute pace. That's like a really good speed threshold for me. I feel good with that. So I'll do that for anywhere between 6 and 8 miles. Then I'll have a couple days off with running. Those 2 days are gonna be dedicated to strength training, though. That's very important, okay? So we're not skipping out on strength training. And then my 2 long run days, on Saturdays, that's gonna be my really long days, okay? So today was a Saturday, I ran for 20 miles. Those are gonna be at a rate of perceived exertion, RPE, of about 2 to 3 for me. So that just means from a scale of 1 to 10, that means it should be very easy. So that conversational pace, right? That's helping me to build that endurance. We're not working on speed at all. We're just focused on endurance, focus on the miles. The day after those long runs, I'll have another longer run. Won't be quite as long, but it will be, you know, tomorrow I have, what do I have tomorrow? Tomorrow I have 8 miles. So that's gonna help me stack the miles because there's no way I'm gonna be fresh tomorrow, right? I just ran a 20 miler. I'm gonna be a little sore tomorrow. I'm gonna aim at running those, my recovery runs, a little faster than my long runs. So those are gonna be RPE 3 to 4, something like that. So not super fast, not like my training runs, not like the fartleks, not like the sprints, but they'll still be a little quicker than my slow runs. So I anticipate a pace anywhere between 8 to 8 minutes and 30 seconds on those recovery runs, something like that. Probably more around the 8:30 mark, to be honest. But that's gonna help me flush out the lactic acid. And then on Monday, I'm gonna dedicate that completely to recovery. No training whatsoever, just active recovery, stretching, things of that nature. Those are the basics on how I plan on tackling my training plan weekly until I get to the 100 miler. We're gonna see if it pays off. You know, with all the knowledge I have, you know, I've never trained myself for a 100 miler before, especially in the span of 3 months, but I've gotten up to a 50 miler. I did that a few months ago, you guys know that. I feel pretty confident in myself to be able to do this. Just got done with a 20 miler and I feel pretty good, you know. I know a 100 miler is gonna hurt, and with all the knowledge that I have so far in with my running skill set, which I feel is pretty good, this seems like a doable plan for myself. It seems like I'm at least hitting the basics. I'm not getting in anything too fancy, but I should be able to get this done by the time run day comes along. Circling back to the strength training, you know, I always say it's really important that you maintain your strength training when you're doing running train ups, okay? If you're trying to increase your runs, you got to maintain strength training. You're not gonna see a whole lot of gains. You know, I'm not out here trying to get big while I'm training for a 100 miler. It's just not gonna happen, guys. But I do wanna try to maintain my muscular build as much as I possibly can. You know, maintaining good strength training while I'm out here doing this 100 miler train up is really, I mean, the number one priority for me is avoiding injury, and that's really what I'm after with this. So I'm not gonna be out here doing, you know, 5x5s or trying to get massive gains or anything like that. It's just not gonna happen, guys, and it's just not my priority. My priority is running. So I need to do things to maintain the muscular structure that I have already built for myself, to avoid injury, to avoid overexertion when I'm out there actually running, and also just to remind my body that it needs to stay strong. You know, I also have other priorities in life, you know, like the ACFT, for example. But on that note, guys, you know, I'm always preaching that hybrid athleticism is super doable, right? Where there's a will, there's a way, and there's absolutely a method to the madness. But that doesn't mean that it's not important to keep a priority in mind. So for me, you know, my biggest priority, like I've said, is this 100 miler, right? So my priority is long distance running. That is my priority. So now the strength training, although I still need to do it, will take a step back, and I'm gonna be doing things more like body weight training, maybe just some maintenance lifts. You know, my rep count's gonna look more like 12 reps for 4 sets, something like that for you meatheads out there. And that's because if you go out there and you're just lifting super heavy and you're breaking down the muscle fibers constantly while you're trying to go out there and build up muscular endurance, especially in the lower body when you're out there running, you know, you're just asking for injury. You're begging for injury doing that. So it's not something I would advise doing, and it's not what I plan on doing for my training plan. All right, and so hopefully I can show you guys real quick. I've got like 5% left on my phone because I went live and I was running out there forever and it's about to die. But this is the race I plan on doing. It's called Blackbeard's Revenge. All right. And it's in Corolla, North Carolina on the 25th of March. So for me, this is something that's totally doable. I don't want to have any reason to not be able to make it to this 100 miler. I just want to set it and forget it. I'm gonna buy the ticket, and it's happening no matter what. I'm going out there. It's only a few hours from where I live, so I'll definitely be able to drive out there, stay the night, and be fresh for the next day. And if you guys have been following the channel, you know I might have mentioned that I'm training up for Jumpmaster this year. I absolutely am, and right now I'm looking at a course in April. So I'll have to bang out this 100 miler and then start Jumpmaster literally like the week after, if not like the next day, something like that. But there's no excuse. I can definitely go out there and knock this out. Or maybe not knock it out, but get it done. Right, babe?
Right, babe. What are we doing?
The 100 miler.
We're getting shit done. That's what we're doing. Woo!
Always got to have a cheerleader in life. That's my #1 cheerleader.
You can do that.
And then I have a couple other runs, more like benchmark runs and just fun runs to keep me honest and keep me on track with training that I want to do. Not necessarily priority, but if I can do it, I'm gonna do it. And one of them is the Pilot Mountain Marathon. Okay, this one's in Pinnacle, North Carolina, a few hours away from me. And this one, I believe, this one's on February 18th, and I believe it's gonna be a marathon trail run, okay? So that's gonna be its own challenge in itself. But if I can knock that out, it'll help me with my training. And then I got one that's coming up here pretty soon that I need to hurry up and sign up for, to be honest. This one's a 50 miler in Wilmington, North Carolina, so really only a couple hours away from me, on January 20th and the 21st, the Southern Tour Ultra. All right, 50 miles. So this one, if I can go out there and knock out another 50 miler now, and I feel confident with it, then I know I'm on the right track, and I've got 2 more months after a 50 miler to train up for a 100 miler. That's how I'm looking at this. So I've got 2 benchmark runs before I get to the actual 100 miler itself. That's gonna help boost my confidence and make sure that I maintain my training, I stay on track with training. And honestly, guys, all these runs on my schedule, I have set my mind that I have to do it. Like, I'm doing these runs no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's only 4 runs a week. I can get it done. Even if I have to wake up super early or go to bed super late or whatever, I'm getting these runs done. Nothing is gonna stop me from this. That's the mindset you gotta have, and that's the mindset I'm gonna keep this entire train up. And yeah, guys, new year, big goals to achieve. This is just one of my goals for the year. It's a big one, but this is just one. You know, you gotta have goals, you gotta have things that you're going after, and you gotta put in the work to get after it. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to catch you up to speed, kind of give you an idea of how Gritty Soldier is training up for this 100 miler, what it's gonna look like. I'll definitely keep you informed. I'll make more videos as we go along here, especially for those benchmark days. You know, you better believe I'm gonna make videos for that. And that's what we're gonna do, and I hope to see you guys along the way, so be on the lookout for more videos. Don't forget to like if you thought this was a good video, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. I think it's gonna be a pretty good ride. For now, I'm gonna get my stretch on, because obviously that is a huge priority for this as well. Gotta stay loose, gotta stay limber, gotta stay healthy, right? So besides that, I've got nothing else for you, and I'll see you on the next one.